Today, you're going to meet a national icon, a man that for the past 50 years has literally changed the health of millions of people all over the world. You all know him. His name is Jay Kordich. Jay is an astonishing 83 years young, and as we all know, he is the person who has introduced juicing all over the world. For the last 15 years, you've seen Jay in infomercials, interviews with the world's most respected journalists, in magazines, on national television. Jay's best-selling book, The Power of Juicing, has been sold in 35 countries and translated into 17 different languages. First, he brought you the power of juicing. Now he brings you the power of living foods. Hi, I'm Adam McDonald. Welcome to the show. I'm here to introduce you to an icon that is so recognizable, you'll know him immediately, Jay Kordich. Now, Jay is the father of juicing, and we're here to talk about his new book, Live Foods, Live Bodies. Welcome, Jay. Yeah. It's good to see you. I'm
Adam,
so honored to be here.
Terrific to be here with you. You know, this book is so sensational, I got to tell you. Linda and I, my wife, put this together. It's all our years of experience. Probably 100 years combined, the two of us together. Yeah, it's really something.
Now, that 100 years, you can change people's lives in 30 days, I understand.
Sure, the body replicates itself. Now, if you were a static, like a spoon, or anything static that doesn't replicate, but we change, you see. Every 7 years, you're physiologically a new person. And in this book, we show you how to keep those cells healthy so they don't atrophy, they don't break down, they don't deteriorate. And then it's not a book about cures. It's a book about not having to think about cures. It's a book about being healthy every day of your life so you don't break down and have the
so it's
typical.
About never getting sick
That's
in the first
exactly.
place. Now, people have bought juicers for years and years and years. You've sold over $1 billion worth. But you know what amazed me when I read this book? I realized that it's not about the juicer, it's about what goes in it. And you tell people in this book what to put in the juicer. It's about knowledge.
Knowledge, exactly. We show them the combinations. But this is not just about juicing. That's only one facet of it. This is about the foods you eat, because we all have to eat, you know? We show you the great things to do to keep you from having addictions, to keep you from breaking down cellularly. We show you things, and this is our passion, to teach people how to live to the ultimate. You see, physiologically, the human body is structured to live an average of 120 years. Some of the great scientists that I worked with early on in the 40s and the 1950s, they say, Jay, we should be living at least to 120 years, like we would be my age now, 83, you know?
Which is amazing, by the way. You're my mentor for that. But wait, let me stop you. Do you really think that in today's day and age, people can still live to be 120?
And why not? And why not?
And why not?
Yeah, the first thing you have to, one of the first things you have to do is put the proper foods in your body, right? And also bringing the juices in, which I've always advocated. And one of the things is to counteract pollutants. One of the things to do is to go out and buy produce that is not grown with chemical fertilizers. You see, organically grown, you know? One of the things to do is to put things in that are alive, to produce live cells. So you yourself can be alive and vibrant and healthy and never tire, you see?
Is that what's in this book?
That's exactly what it's about. Keeping you from having to break down where you would need, quote unquote, a cure. There's no need for that.
The cure is not to get sick in the first place, but the fact is there's a lot of people out there who are sick. They have arthritis, they have diabetes, they have migraine headaches, they have gout, they have
infections,
kidney
bladder
infections, liver disease, all sorts of things. There's lots of things out there. And when I listen to your story, how you beat the odds, I don't think a lot of people out there really know this, but Jay actually had cancer in 1948 when you were 25 years old.
25 years old.
And you had bladder cancer.
Playing football at USC, who were the national champs last year, and may do it again this year. Yeah, and you know, at the training table, I come from a poor family. I was raised in the 20s, you know, a poor Yugoslav fisherman's son. And we never had enough money to buy anything. And then when I got to the University of Southern California, The training table, big thick steaks every night. I mean, great. Right. Everybody would love that. I never had steaks in my life, and all of a sudden, that's what I'm eating. Everybody else is eating all the ball. My tackles are eating it, my halfbacks are eating it, the defensive team, the offense, and I'm sitting there with a steak on my plate, and I said, well, okay, I'll try it. So I'm eating those steaks. I didn't know I was taking a lot of blood of an animal in my body and the toxins and poisons, and I didn't know they were using steroids and stilbestrol, and I didn't know they were putting growth hormones in that steak. All of a sudden, my body's inundated with these foods that were free at the training table after football practice at USC. I didn't know these things could cause cancer, and I never thought, wow, you know, food.
What was the prognosis? What did they say?
Well, early death. Early death, okay. So, but in my medical classes, I'm very fortunate. I read information by a very, very famous doctor that treated the great man, Dr. Albert Schweitzer. We all know of him.
Of course.
You know, his name, the doctor's name, was the Surgeon General of Germany, and set up shop, practicing on Park Avenue, New York. And I went all the way from Los Angeles by train. I was a poor college student. And I went to have a conference with this man, Dr. Max Gerson. And he's the one that put me on juices. He's the one that got me away from cooked food. He's the one that got me away from putrefied animal flesh. He's the one that put me on all these healing juices. I mean, and then I learned from Dr. Norman Walker. And Dr. Norman Walker put the greatest book of all from Wickenburg, Arizona, Raw Vegetable Juices. In the book is about every ailment of the human body and what juices to counteract that ailment, what juices to correct it by.
Was it a combination of juices, or was it one particular recipe that you think cured you?
I think the apple and beet combination was the mainstay.
Was that the primary?
Apple beet together, and then apple, beet, and carrot.
Now, how long did it take you before you noticed that it was working, that you were getting better, and that you were healing? Because this is really about healing.
Yeah, it was about rebuilding the cells of the human body and healing the body, and then sustaining a good energy level. And I found out that within a few days of bringing these juices in my body, I started to feel energized and euphoric. And I was starting to eliminate. I never had all combinations and all the constipation and everything else. I was in dire straits by that time. And when I start putting these juices in my body, I felt my surge of energy. I felt like tearing telephone books in half. The energy started really building me. And I've been at it ever since.
Ever since.
Adam, I'm telling you, there's not a day that goes by that I don't drink these juices. There's not a day that goes by that I don't eat vegetables and salads and fruit. I don't eat animal products. Everything that I've ever done in these last, how many years now? My God,
60
almost
years?
60 years.
Wow, that's still
everything that I have, that I've done, is in the book.
In this book.
And listen, I don't care if you're a medical doctor, your drugs won't build the cells. The cells are made from food, and there's only one food on planet Earth that has every element of life and growth, that has all the enzymes in it and all the nutrients in it. And that's a raw plant as it comes out of the ground. You cook it, or you can it, or you bottle it, or whatever, you have changed the molecular structure. You will never build a sound body by eating cooked food. Believe me.
You've put your whole life's work. You have different food, you have different recipes for different ailments. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. With my wife, Linda. She compiled the recipes for all of us.
Okay. Now, I'm glad you brought up your wife. I had the pleasure of meeting your wife.
She's
came
fabulous.
down your house
and
interviewed with her. And, I want to run a little bit of tape here. And here's what Linda had to say. Can you go ahead and roll that?
Well, I think people know Jay, and even I know Jay when I see him on TV, they know him as the juice guy. For 15 years, we were on TV.
Right.
He was on TV, selling millions of juicers. But I think what most Americans don't understand or know is that really juicing was just the first part of the message. Live Foods, Live Bodies is the second part of our message. And it's not just the juicing, it's really about how people's lives can change, whether they're addicted to foods, whether they're addicted to alcohol or cigarettes or bad lifestyle or poor thinking. There are tips in this book that will literally change their lives. It's really going to ensure you that when you eat this way, you're going to feel like he feels, right, honey?
Well, you know,
vitality, endurance, strength, balanced life in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, my gosh, Jay's in his mid-80s.
Right,
You'd
here I
never
am
know
going
it.
on 83
He must
right
be doing
now.
something right. Our 90 years collective experience, it really says something, and I feel so confident and so wonderful that we can actually put this book together for people, because I know they're going to really change their lives. These are noble and sacred truths that just don't go away. They're not meant to be owned. They're meant to share.
You know what? I want to tell the people out there how they can get your book, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Jay, this is Jay Kordich's life work and his wife, Linda.
Yeah, Linda's a big
Life,
part of
Foods,
this
Live
now,
Bodies.
too.
Now, this is hot off the press, folks. This is going to sell for $49.95 at Barnes & Noble, all the bookstores across America. And if you call and order today, Jay's going to give you this book for $29.95.
Is that what we're going to do?
$29.95. It's an amazing,
I just saw the book
offer.
the first time today.
Now, as a free bonus, I bet you didn't even know this,
No,
Jay.
I don't.
We're going to give Jay's CD away, My Story, How I Beat the Odds.
Yeah.
Now, this is Jay's entire story and how he beat cancer through juicing.
That's a great CD.
It is a great CD. I was fascinated.
Yeah.
That's, combined, this is over a $60, $70 value, is it? All for just $29.95. Pick up the phone, you see it on your screen there. Guarantee. And do you guarantee this?
Absolutely.
What if I get the book, I read it, and I think it's hogwash and I want to send it back? What we do?
Give him his money back.
Well, give him your money back.
Oh, man, you can't. You have never in your entire life seen a book like this with these recipes and these formulas.
Here's what we're introducing today.
Right.
You know, America, this is the first day that this book is available, and this is your life work.
That's right.
And it's all about live foods, live bodies. And I really want to know, what is in this book?
All the recipes for life.
So you have recipes for life.
Not just juice recipes, but food recipes, preparing food, getting them together so your family could be healthy along with you.
Juice for kids.
Yeah.
Children's top 10 super juice recipes.
Yeah, isn't that great?
What about for mothers nursing?
Oh,
Does juicing...
Oh, Linda, she was on juices the whole time she was nursing. It was fantastic. You know, it would build up the juice of these foods is just like the blood of the body.
Right.
And she was replenishing what she was losing and was rebuilding her supply of milk for the boys and all that. It was great. I mean, these juices play a myriad of different things.
You know, I was talking to your wife, Linda, before the show, and she mentioned something to me that I thought was kind of fascinating. In your book, you show Americans, you show people, you show moms out there how to turn their kitchens into living kitchens.
Yes.
And really what that's about is appliances that support living health.
Yep. Right.
That's an interesting concept. That's a whole new concept nobody's ever talked about. I've never heard of such a thing. Yeah, and yet that's the core, I think, of changing your life. And on page 82 in this book, I think, you give a breakdown. It's simple. Look, folks, there's 24 top points to turn your kitchen into a living kitchen.
Yeah, you know, and all these things, we show you.
And it starts with the juicer, though, doesn't it?
Well, the juicer is the mainstay because see, Adam, one thing about it, and you folks, I want you to pay attention to this. One thing about it, everything you eat has to be converted to juice. Your body and my body and every human body and every creature's body on planet Earth is a juice machine. Whatever you eat has to be turned into juices. So we make it very simplified. So the body can, and that takes a lot of energy by the body to do that. Do you know whatever you and I eat, we could have the greatest foods in the world, and the best we're going to derive from that food is maybe 10 or 12% for the average person. 90% or more of the food value still left in the fibrous wall of the food when it has to be eliminated in a bowel movement. See, the body with the peristaltic machine, whatever we eat, like salads and fruit and whatever, is a juice machine. And only the juice of the food can penetrate through the intestinal villi, through the portal vein, into your liver, and deliver those nutrients to every one of our 100 trillion cells. That's precisely why the juicer is the centerfold of the kitchen appliance. Precisely, exactly.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I just want to see how knowledgeable you are. If I had diabetes, let's say, what juice would I do? What combination?
Fantastic. That was one of my specialties. String beans and Brussels sprouts, when you combine them, molecularly they form something very similar to insulin to build and repair and restructure the pancreas so you
That
can
is
produce
fascinating.
so you can produce
Right.
insulin properly. It's
So,
amazing.
Okay, so there's a combination there. If I take that, do you think I potentially could get rid of diabetes if I had it?
I think you can rebuild the pancreas. Health does not require a cure.
Right.
Not require a cure. You don't have to get a cure. You stay healthy. Stay healthy, vital, energized. Nobody should be dead at 50 or 60, have a heart attack, have cancer. Nobody should have osteomyelitis, bone cancer. Nobody should go through that. Nobody should be constipated. That's one of the things you want to eliminate.
In this Natural Cures book I was reading,